1, 2, 3, 4. So let me set the scene.
Since I was a little boy, pulling apart Christmas lights when I was about 3 years old, and always wanted to join the film
See that
industry,
beautiful dog?
which
Yeah.
I did. And
Yeah.
Cause there I spied the bloke, perched atop of his milk crate throne.
Work for some guy that barges in the door at 6 p.m.
Advertising pays. I'm in Vegas all the time and I see that sign. Every time I drive past, I've said, I've got a good feeling I've got to go down and check out these guys and see what they actually do.
So Heath's talking about string lights and fairy lights, and in my mind immediately I'm thinking, like the fairy lights that I wrapped around this tree that I got on Amazon. Then he pulls out these lights here, and man, I'm looking at the thickness of the cord and the way that everything's.
We have a
sealed
lot
in
of
here.
drunks in Australia, like you have a lot of drunks in Nevada. So we've made the world's strongest lasting fairy light that is resistant to heat, drunks, thunderstorms, hurricanes, etc. And we sell it all over the world. A party in New York, they're the icicles hanging out the ceiling. So it's used by a lot of hire companies.
So this is a product that's intended to last, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years plus.
Yeah.
This is like it's like the thickness almost of like a 14 gauge landscape lighting wire. I mean, in the world of what we do with 14
It's
gauge,
got
I mean,
it's got to last. All the fairy lights are 24 volt DC. They're all interconnectable. It's all marked. Look how thick and sexy. And IP67 plugs. So if you're doing a tree, you run these like multi-outlet tails in it,
So
and
does
you just
this
plug it
become
in.
your power cord that you would just run from the bottom of the tree
Yes.
and just run it up the
Yes.
longest branch? And now you've got a point of connection that you can tap these on, and these come in what lengths?
These come in 30 foot, 15 foot, and also icicles.
Can I cut this?
You can cut this, but you'll generally find you won't have to. It's like a Meccano. It's easy to put together. And America, I know you have a problem. As soon as you go low voltage, everyone freaks out. Oh, you're going to have a transformer and all that kind of stuff. You also want a product that's going to last. Like we've got these lights in massive trees in Australia that have been put up like half a decade ago, and they're still working. And for anyone that works with fairy lights or Christmas lights, you think that's impossible. But we put long-lasting LEDs in it, strong cable, and the work you go through to make sure that the products actually last.
And then for this particular product that we're looking at now, tell me about the colors that it's available in. So this is a blue color?
This is a blue, but the color, it's all about the warm. It's all about the warm white. It looks exactly like tungsten. So we basically set the color temperature to 2200 K. So it looks just like traditional tungsten light bulbs that are dimmed
And then
down.
what, just for a reference point of what we have here, what is the color temperature? Actually, does this bulb here, this is all 24 volt DC.
All 24 volt
So
DC.
if I'm using random products from your company, fairy lights, these string lights, I'm pretty much operating off of a 24 volt DC system. I'm not checking the tag. If I know it's a Firefly
It's all
product,
tw- it's
I know
all-
it's 24 volt DC, and it all fits within the same ecosystem.
The rest, it was just like with Australia, but when we started the company 15 years ago, 12 volt is just like what you have in Home Depot here. You can't do fairy lights in 12 volt because you get voltage dropout. So if you're doing an outline of a building, you get all this dropout.
Okay, so my next question then is, what is the dimming capability of these products?
You can dim all these. You can dim them on a
Because,
1 to 10.
I've done a 12 volt system with an Edison base, screw in 12 volts, and what I always tell clients is, if dimming is a priority for you, run it in 120, because every time I use a 12 volt dimmer, inevitably something starts to flicker, something goes out, something gets
The good
wonky,
thing with
and
24
you might be able to find a range within that dimmer where everything looks nice, but without that caveat that, hey, maybe you've got to kind of play with this dimmer to get it the way you want it.
24 volt AC and D. The bulbs are 24 volt AC or DC, so you can dim them with an old iron core transformer. But it's really more 24 volt DC. It's becoming a bit of a standard now. Like in the theme parks and shopping centres, It's just like any other 24 volt, whether it be strip or LED neon, etc. You can dim it. You can dim it down. A lot of the theatres use them as well.
Again, are we talking this product, or we're talking the fairy lights and the rest of your product?
This is all of the fairy lights, all of the LED neon, as well as festoons.
And do these lights take this same connector system? Because I don't,
No, the festoon lights you just cut by the feet, and you just hardwire in.
Hardwired.
A lot of the high companies are using our plugs, and they just are basically putting them on the end. We also, to make the festoons easy, we also have a 120 retrofit. So if you've got a sign or existing string lights, you can simply take out the old tungsten bulbs or the ugly LED bulbs. America is filled with horrible, ugly LED bulbs. The problem is everyone's just gone out and retrofitted the LED bulbs, but the colour temperature's got too much green in it, so it makes the food look bad, and it certainly makes the humans.
What I also like about this that I haven't asked you about is on these sockets here, if I can free one up. Okay, so I'm going to unscrew this here. This rubber here is nice because it's thin enough to really get the bulb to seat down, and it's a nice flexible rubber, so as you get to a certain point in threading it in, feels like it's making a nice watertight connection around the base. Obviously, that's intentional.
This is intentional in Australia because things like a lot of the theme parks in Orlando, they get hurricanes like we do in Australia. Our bulbs are made to look exactly like glass, so you cannot tell that they're not glass until you go to smash them on the ground. They won't break.
I'm gonna, I know you screwed these bulbs in
but
here.
These cables that we've made in all different types, these, dare I say it, and you've never heard this before with decorative lighting, it's military grade. We use these, the Australian Army uses these all throughout their barracks, the Navy uses them, even the USS Intrepid in New York has our lights because it keeps all the rain and salt out from the sockets.
This just fell on the floor. I'm not even worried about it. Let it drop.
It's made to be dropped. This is like one of those infomercials where they get all the products and trash them. We've made it non... Trust me, the Marine Corps biker bar has these strung up all in the back in Las Vegas. So, and if you want an indestructible light bulb, the Marine Corps biker bar...
I've always shied away from these because of just the damage that the sun does to any plastic type of material. No yellowing. I mean, is there
no yellowing coming from Australia?
Me, shoot me straight.
To be completely honest, the hardest thing with these bulbs was getting the colour temperature and getting these shells right. I've been through 26 factories, and I can't tell you the angst and a pandemic to get this right because you put too much powder in the polycarbonate, it will go cloudy. Too less, the sun will make it turn yellow. In Australia, we got holes in the ozone layer. You think you got sun in Nevada? Try Australia. I wanted this to be perfect.
Here, and you can tell me your thoughts on it. Is, I look at this and I'm like, okay, the color temperature is nice. It's a globe bulb, but I look at the filament in this bulb, and I mean, it looks so. The color's nice. It's got a nice decorative filament inside.
Color temperature, color
temperature. The single or the dual filaments in a low voltage bulb. I mean, the
15 years in the film industry.
It's a nice
we want it.
Light bulb.
We want it to look like a filament. We've even gone to the point of star rating.
Why wouldn't you just take that filament and put it in the globe light? Because to me, this is a much more natural.
Well, a lot of people love the S14s, but the dip LED gives you this magic sparkle. So when these are up, it gives you this almost glitter effect.
And you also, I haven't looked at your catalog yet, but you also make the same type of product with like a suspended?
Suspended as well, like a really industrial suspended to go over streets. All black cable. We also do it in a white. So white's great, but white can get a bit dirty, but some people want white.
Almost got to rename these fairy lights, because fairy lights, I think of the real thin wires, something that's operating.
Well, we've made them. Australia's a hard country for the environment, so we've tried to make things as strong as possible.
Right, love your coat.
Love the coat, yeah.
Come on, smoke